and welcome back to the We Are City channel with the upcoming and impending FA Cup final against City's bitter rivals Manchester United. We wanted to do a video about a combined 11. We've seen so many people do combined 11s when City and United have faced off against each other, and I wanted to do a combined 11 going into the FA Cup final. A combined 11 of the players that could possibly fit in a good starting 11 between Manchester City and Manchester United. Now, I want to say one stipulation I've made for myself in building this combined 11 is it must include at least 3 players from each side. That meaning that if you wanted a team pretty much full of Manchester City players, you still have to have 3 Manchester United players in there. That is the deal I like to make myself, otherwise I could be incredibly biased. When I was thinking this through, I was thinking, oh, I'll tell you what, I could make this a full Manchester City starting 11 really, but I wanted it to be a combined 11, and I thought I've got to get 3 United players in there. So this is the way I managed to do things. This is the combined 11 that I put together. So starting off with the goalkeeper, and we went with Ederson, Manchester City's goalkeeper Ederson, ahead of David De Gea. Now, David De Gea did just win the Golden Glove, and he could have been one of the Man United players to go in there, but I decided against it purely because I think David De Gea makes a lot of mistakes. I think there's a lot of questions over David De Gea. There's a lot of questions over Ederson as well, by the way. He doesn't get out of this at all, but I thought in the end, the performances that Ederson has put in, especially later on in the season, in those crucial Champions League games, I put Ederson ahead of David De Gea. I mean, if we're going off David De Gea win the Golden Glove, then I think, well, Ederson's won it how many times as well? So you've got to get him in there as well. So I put Ederson ahead of David De Gea, which is a little bit ironic, really, isn't it? Considering that David De Gea will probably start the FA Cup final and Ederson won't. It will be Ortega in goal for Manchester City. So he is our first City player. We're going to play a 4-2-3-1. That is the formation I'm going with. Going now with a back 4. And the back 4 will start from right back, and I've put John Stones in at right back for Manchester City, ahead of what could have been Diogo Dalot or Aaron Wan-Bissaka. It could have also been Kyle Walker or Manuel Akanji of Manchester City, maybe even young Rico Lewis. But I've gone with John Stones. He's been one of the best players for City this season, defensively and offensively as well. Stepping into that midfield, I don't think there's anyone better than doing that. I want my team to do that way, maybe, in this formation. And John Stones stepping into that midfield and causing problems for the opposition. We know how good he is as a midfielder, as a defender, offensively, defensively. So I've gone with John Stones in there in the first place in the back 4. Could also be a back 3 in this formation as well, with the left back pushing forward. The left back can also play as a centre back as well. That's the way I've gone with it. So John Stones in there for City player number 2 in this combined 11. And now for the right-hand side centre-back. Now, Manchester United have one of the best defensive records in the Premier League this season. And a player that I think, if we've got to get United players in there, this guy has won the Champions League multiple times. And I think that, and he's a World Cup winner, Rafael Varane. Now, I don't think on his day at the moment he starts ahead of John Stones, but I push Stones to the right back. I don't think he starts ahead of Diaz. I don't think he's better than either of those 2 centre-backs. But he's certainly better than Akanji. At the moment, he's probably not better than Nathan Ake, honestly. But he's a World Cup winner, he's a multiple-time Champions League winner, and French international Rafa Varane gets in this combined 11. Remember, we've got to get 3 United players in there, so he gets in this combined 11 for Manchester City and Manchester United. Rafa Varane in there. Some of you guys might disagree with that. Let us know in the comments down below, by the way, after you've seen the full team, who your team is, who you believe a starting 11 should be, and trying to get 3. If you're a United fan, maybe you're a Manchester United fan watching this, try and get 3 City players in there. You can't do a full 11 of Manchester United players. And if you're a City fan, try and get 3 Manchester United players in there as well, just to try and even things up a little bit. On to left centre-back now. Left side centre-back, I have gone with, it could have been Lisandro Martinez, World Cup winner, of course, but I've gone with City's probably best out-and-out defender, maybe even the best out-and-out defender in the Premier League at the moment. It is Ruben Diaz. There's no coincidence that City hit that winning streak, got back to the business once Ruben Diaz got back on the City side. So Ruben Diaz starts on that left-hand side of our centre-back, just an absolute leader. I think he's a better leader than any player in that Man United starting 11, in that Man United team, and probably in the City team as well. I do think he's probably a better leader than a Rodri and Ilkay Gundogan. He's fantastic, absolutely fantastic, leads by example. He's first man in the gym every day and so on, and he surely has to go in a start combined 11 with Manchester United. And then onto the left-hand side, supporting Diaz at left back, it is our second Manchester United player, and it is Luke Shaw, the England international. I think he's a really good left back. I think if you said to Manchester City fans and Luke Shaw wasn't an ex-Man United player, Luke Shaw is out there, you can sign him. I think a lot of City fans would say, bring Luke Shaw in, can play as a centre-back, can play as an attacking full-back, can get crossed into the box, good set-piece taker. He is a very good solid centre-back at times for United and also a left-back. So I think Luke Shaw gets in there. So our back four is 3 City players, or our back 5, including the goalkeeper, 3 City players and 2 Manchester United players. Now onto the midfield. Midfield 3, and 2 holding and 1 further forward. 1 is going to be Manchester City captain Ilkay Gundogan, picked ahead of Christian Eriksen or Marcel Sabitzer. I think there's no doubt even Manchester United fans wouldn't argue that any of those players are better than Ilkay Gundogan. City's captain, clubs all around the world clamouring for his signature in the summer. If he leaves in a free transfer, stays at City, we don't know, but Ilkay Gundogan's got to be in there. I mean, that goal he scored against Everton only a few weeks back, the quality, the technique, unbelievable footballer. And alongside him, this is probably the toughest, it has to be the toughest, really, decision in the whole team. Rodri or Casemiro, multiple-time Champions League winner, but right now, there is no better holding midfielder in the world than Rodri. Rodri has got to be in there ahead of Casemiro. Manchester United fans might disagree, but I think Rodri surely right now is better than Casemiro. There's no doubts about that. Rodri goes in alongside Gundogan. Defensively, maybe Casemiro's a bit better defensive than Rodri, but Rodri just on the ball is unbelievable. I think technically he can play in those little tight spaces. Casemiro isn't that sort of player. He breaks up play. He makes some really nice passes forward. Makes some wonderful passes forward, by the way, Casemiro. And he gets in the goals as well. They are similar players, but I think all round, I think right now, we have to agree Rodri is better. And then on to the attacking midfield role. Centre attacking midfield. Could be Bruno Fernandes or Kevin De Bruyne. It's between those two, and I think we all know, United fans will agree with this, Kevin De Bruyne is the best midfielder in the Premier League and has to go in ahead of Bruno Fernandes. So Kevin De Bruyne is our attacking midfielder, and that is a midfield 3 of all Manchester City players. And that moves us on finally to the front 3, where one Manchester United player must be in here, and I think we all know what it's going to be. So on the right-hand side, we go with Bernardo Silva. I think it could have been, Grealish, Foden, Mahrez miss out here. He's got to be Bernardo Silva. I think he's better than Anthony. I think he's better than Jadon Sancho. He's got to be in there, hasn't he? He's got to be in there. Technically gifted player, but also brings that work rate. And I mean, the best manager of all time, Pep Guardiola, or one of the best managers of all time, depending on who you agree, is the best of all time. He says Bernardo Silva is one of the best players he's trained. So surely we've got to all agree that Bernardo Silva has to be in there. He starts on the right-hand side. He starts ahead of Mahrez. He starts ahead of, Foden for City, so he's got to be in there. On the left-hand side, our third and final Manchester United player. We said we had to get 3 United players in there. We have got 3 players in there. It is Marcus Rashford. He's dipped off, actually, in recent weeks, but he had 3 or 4 months of the season where he was literally one of the most unplayable players in the league. Combination of pace, quality, finishing ability, skill, the way he can chop the ball, turn one way and then the other. Unbelievable player on his day. Not always his day with Marcus Rashford. He can be inconsistent, but I had to put Marcus Rashford in there. And then finally, the man up top, the number 9. You've got a choice here of Julian Alvarez, Wout Weghorst, Anthony Martial, but it's got to be a man, and no, I don't think anyone builds a combined 11 who disagrees this one. The 36th goal in the Premier League this season, 61 goals and assists in all competitions. Erling Haaland starts up top in my combined 11. So this is my Manchester City, Manchester United combined 11 going into our FA Cup final against Manchester United, which will be live here on the channel, Alternative Commentary. It's going to be exciting. I think it's going to be an absolutely brilliant game. Let us know in the comments down below your predictions for that game, by the way. Is it going to be United win the FA Cup? Is it going to be Manchester City, who would be then 1 trophy away from the treble for that Champions League final? And let us know in the comments down below, even the United fans, your combined 11. Remember, try and get 3 United or City players in that starting 11. At least get 3 in there, just to bring some balance, because we don't want to be too biased, do we? Thank you very much for watching. Please do like the video if you haven't already. Please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. Hopefully see a lot of you guys for our live for the FA Cup final, and we'll see you next time.